They buy from the dollar stores and they buy consumer staples. And those are really big green areas today. Not so much consumer discretionary or tech or even oil, Scott Bauer. I mean, we're looking at certain areas that look like they're sort of capitulating. If you look at West Texas Intermediate in the aftermarket sessions, same with Brent, we've got them down 2% plus each. And I don't know, when you start to look at things like that, it makes you wonder what's really happening here in the market. So what do you see? Because volatility is still looking rather calm.
Yeah, Liz, it's funny they just used the word capitulation because earlier in the day, it was about midday today when we saw a big break to the downside. It really looked like there was some capitulation going on. VIX spiked to its high of the day, albeit, VIX at 21. We're used to seeing it maybe upwards of 30. We saw S&Ps down at the bottom, and that's when we saw a lot of risk off. And we have recovered a little bit since there. But you're right. There is a little bit of capitulation. I'm not saying that the market can't go down further from here, but we are starting to see that. So as David was just saying, all of these things you're talking about, the tariff situation, the consumer, all of that brings in uncertainty, and the market does not like uncertainty. Now, uncertainty is great for traders, right? And it's great for volatility, but we're talking about mainstream here. So NVIDIA tomorrow, that could be a make or break for the entire marketplace, and they are going to have blowout record earnings. But as we know, as we've seen with Walmart and many of the other big ones out there, it is all going to come down to guidance. What are they going to say? Are they going to shed a little light that, yes, the big tech sell-off that we have seen, you know what? We didn't really need it. Things are going to be okay.
Well, to your point, what isn't okay, at least in the short term here, it's nothing we can predict for the longer term, are companies that are very richly valued. But by the same token, Scott, you do have those questions about tariffs and what is the actual number? What are we actually going to see beyond the 10% that actually has been slapped on China imports coming to the United States? I do want to just quickly point out, though, and this is I'm asking you to put your trader hat on, but also your longer term hat, Scott. Is everything that is very risky in peril at the moment? Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin trading earlier below 98,000, and it was getting really close to below 87,000.
88, right.
Below 88,000. It's at 87,947 at the moment. And the names that are in equity land that are attached to that are also getting hit. Is that just a risk-off trade?
It absolutely is a risk-off trade. I don't think that this is a longer trend. And something I wanted to bring up, Liz, and this goes, hand in hand with what you're seeing in the sell-off in Bitcoin and some of the equities and some of these really high overvalued stocks, is also the uptick, not just where the VIX and the VIX futures are sitting around 20, which historically is really not all that high. But we have seen over the last several weeks massive, and I mean massive, upside call buying in the VIX out to April and out to May, strikes as high as 60 and 75. Now, why are people buying those? That could be just protection. It also could be with the fear that maybe there is going to be this one massive, I'm not going to say black swan event. I don't want to scare anybody, and I don't really believe in that, but one big risk capitulation. And so that is a little bit telling to me that we haven't really seen the VIX futures really move all that much.
True.
But this upside call buying is just not
a precursor.
stopping.